Greetings, Commander, and welcome to the breach. We're getting straight into it this time in my Centurion 7-1 on Himmelsdorf. This tank is the reason why on both the Xbox and the PC I ground up the British medium lines to start off with. Even though the natural environment for Centurion 7-1 is on the back of the ridge line, I decided not to go up there because I generally find that it's a little bit too crowded on the Himmelsdorf hill. But as the Centurion has no frontal hull armour to speak of, I need to keep my hull covered as much as possible, so I'm going to go hull down in the destroyed station. As this is an encounter battle, I am doing what is called play the objective, so bonus points for that, eh? I keep hoping that LT will poke round the corner and try and do some spotting, but unlucky at this point. Then I spot the 268 version 4 making a move, and I'm like, oh dear, because this could be a bit of a problem. I feel that I can just about go through his lower plate if I'm lucky.
We hit them, but didn't penetrate their armor.
I aim for a tracking shot here, trying to go through the drive wheel, but I aim a bit too far back and bounce off his side skirts.
Enemy hit.
Well, this is a great exchange for me. I managed to miss all the rubble, I managed to penetrate his lower plate, and he bounces off my turret armour, which is a surprise. I don't get as lucky this time. If you notice, there's an E75 in the background starting to move onto the track, so somebody else has joined the party, which makes us outnumbered on this flank. I obviously must give the new guy at the party a gift, so I send an APCR round into his side. But he gets off lightly with a very low roll. Well, I don't want to ignore any of the guests at the party, so I give the 268 another little present. Unfortunately, he doesn't penetrate. Lucky for me, he misses. I go for the snipe on the E75's cupola, but unfortunately not so lucky and miss. Fair enough, I wasn't taking the E75 seriously at this range, and the object slammed into my gun mantle again, so lucky there. I was going to go for a returning shot on the E75, but then I noticed that the object 268 was moving, so I had an opportunity to put one into the side, so as a bigger threat I felt, go for the side shot. This object 140 is going to be a pain in the ass. He's in a good place, I can't really get a shot at him.
We hit them, but didn't penetrate their armor.
And I guess he's annoyed with me because he doesn't seem to be able to go through my turret. As you can see from the health pools and the number of tanks, it's a very close game, which is enjoyable and a change. I am starting to get fed up of 3 to 4 minute games. I don't enjoy steamrolling or being steamrolled all the time. Got to keep wiggling and moving to make sure he doesn't have time to aim. Need him to keep going for those snapshots. I'm also acutely aware of the LT right next to me on the other side of the station wall. I have to say that that was a lucky hit against the E75. I nearly missed, I only got the very end of his turret. I did take a hit in return from the Object 140, but the E75 now is a one-shot to everybody. The Object 140 has just realised he's run out of friends and is making his charge, so I take a shot through the wall, hoping just for a tracking shot, which I make. which means I know that he's burnt his repair kit. He takes a hit from our Panzer and I shoot him through the lower plate. While that was happening, our Skoda finishes off the LT and we've realised that we've lost the hill, so we're expecting a charge from the hill winners. The game really is neck and neck at the moment. Two players have mentioned going for the capture of the base, and I'm moving into position to take a shot, which maybe be my only one, of any tank that comes around the corner. The Conqueror knocked over the lamppost, which was nice of him to telegraph that he was charging around the corner. Yes, pulling out in front of the Conqueror, not the brightest move, but I was on the opinion that getting the Conqueror to shoot at me would slow him down, get into the cap circle and stop him from resetting or getting an actual spot for the artillery. And from the looks of it, the Conqueror was worried about me peeking again and shooting him in the side if he made a run to the cap circle. I get a steel wall for my 3110 damage blocked. I got a fairly respectable 2000 damage done. You'll notice that I didn't fire any premium ammunition and I made a profit of 4,901 credits with a premium account. For the second battle of the day, I'm here in the EBR Hotchkiss, Tier 7 French wheeled light tank. In this replay I'll be taking control of the camera because the replay looks very jerky when I'm swinging my turret around really fast to get a view of a tank, etc. So it's going to be a little bit smoother and less harsh on you. At the start of the battle I'm going to bear to the right and try and spot any enemy light tanks that are going to rush to the bushes on the 1-2 line. A few times during this battle I'll have teammates asking me to do some things for them, and it's a skill knowing when that request is useful for the team or just them, or when it's actually detrimental to you. With having so many tanks on the ridgeline, I don't want to get caught up in them because I do not want to be hit by artillery. When I do get spotted, I want to make sure that I go unseen before I make any drastic moves. If I'd rushed to the back of the map while still spotted, it would have given the heavy tanks on the ridgeline a chance to shoot at me, so I give myself time to disappear and then I go back to help cover the artillery and deal with the bourrasque. Yep, a whopping 19 points of damage for a kill, but it's getting rid of a very, very dangerous tank. I'm not sure about the player. I think that was a daft move to be so aggressive so early on. So we're 3 minutes into the game, and this is normally where you get asked to go and spot the 1-2 line for all the tank destroyers and heavy tanks bush camping, whereas I'm more interested in trying to find the enemy light tank at the moment and get rid of them. So my ridge line run is getting incrementally deeper. I don't just go all the way in on the first run and get blasted by all the TDs at the back. I'm trying to gently find out where the enemy light tank is. So the 1-2 line is being pinged, and from where I'm spotted on the ridge line, I believe that's where the light tank is camping. Maybe both of them, as they haven't got any active scout working the ridge line. So I managed to get into the bowl before I'm spotted, but once I'm in the bowl I get spotted, and it is a rather dangerous place because it's open to artillery and they've got 2 artillery on the enemy team. So obviously I want to keep moving, but I do manage to spot the enemy light tank, which is useful. Now I don't want to be confined to this bowl, so I need to get out of here, and I just hope that there's nothing really close behind that light tank that can spot me as I leave. We have completely lost the right hand flank. That means all the enemies can rush down to the A line and set up on the ridge there and provide crossfire from now the ridge and the rail track. What is good to see is that our Lorraine has moved early. So my days as an active scout have ended, and now we're going to become a passive scout. I'm going to get myself hidden in these bushes, which will give me the view range to cover the railroad track and the ridge line behind me. And here comes our first customer. Well, that was unfortunate. I'm now the only scout tank the team has. We're trailing by 2,000 hit points and a number of tanks. If I was active scouting now, I would get spotted and the other flank would be able to shoot me. So I believe this is the best option to stay hidden and help the team this way. I don't think the team thoroughly agrees with that. The Lorraine sent me a retreat order, which I'm going to ignore because I feel that just here I'm extending the view range of the team and I'm far more useful than just in the gun line. Don't get me wrong, the temptation to do some shooting is there, but if I shoot, I get spotted, and then I die, and then the team dies. So, patience, young Padawan. The Cherie has gone unspotted, but I know he hasn't retreated because he has to become spotted to make it back over that ridgeline. And that Reveliste behind me is a bit of a worry because if I do get spotted, his gun can just wipe me out. I think the STA is asking me what I'm doing at the moment. It's a little bit tense at the moment. Well, the enemy team realised that there is somebody in the middle of the field spotting. Thankfully, RT chose the wrong bush. With the Caliban moving forward, it's time to stop passive scouting and become a more active tank. Well, I was lucky, wasn't I? He was spamming gold. If he'd had HE loaded, that would have been a completely different ending to the game. Time to do some spotting, but not down the 1-2 line where they want me to go. That's a death sentence for me at this point, I feel. So I'm going to go and see if that tiger's still there. Shouldn't have locked on and did a snapshot, I should have aimed. They marked the map, so I'm assuming that they haven't been spotted and the final tank destroyer is over there. I was wrong. An enjoyable game where I get Mastery and Patrol Duty Award. I do 706 damage and earn 1245 base XP, and I spot for 4740 damage. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.